Christmas in Chicago is such a beautiful time of year, except this isn't Christmas, it's the middle of March. We got a nice blizzard, but we've also got a nice car to check out. This beautiful Mercedes C300 Coupe. It's Jason with Chicago News, let's check it out. It really is accentuated here in this 3/4 view. You've got a great sloping roofline in the back here. This body line, instead of going down like it does on the sedan, it cuts straight through the middle, and basically it's all about athleticism. But of course, it's a beautiful March winter day here in Chicago. Luckily, they've given us these Pirelli snow tires, so let's go see how it does out on the road. Now we're nice and warm inside the cabin of this C300. We got the heated seats on, the heat blaring. Much nicer place to be than outside. Without question, Mercedes right now is doing some of the best looking interior design of any manufacturer. It's not just about the materials that they've chosen, but it's how everything is integrated. You get a ton of choices too, with different types of wood that you want to use, different color leathers. In this particular test model that we have this beautiful brown leather, black on top of the dash and door panels here, and then this high gloss wood inset. There's a ton of aluminum, and it just really feels luxurious. This is a particularly great engine in this car. The 2-liter turbo can kind of sound buzzy sometimes. This one is a little bit smoother sounding, even though we do suspect they might be pumping some of the engine sound through the speakers. But with 276 foot-pounds of torque, once again, Mercedes always seems to have plenty of torque, and really that's what you want, to have a car that feels quick when you step on the pedal. That torque is what you feel instantly, and this has great acceleration. 0 to 60 for the rear wheel drive version is 6.0 seconds, which is pretty fantastic. Now, one of the reasons manufacturers are going to these 2-liter turbos is to get better and better fuel mileage. This Mercedes gets 22 city and 30 highway. It gets a little bit more in the 2-wheel drive version than the all-wheel drive version. Overall, that's pretty great mileage for the size of this car, the weight of this car, the features that are in here, and certainly the performance. I've been lucky enough to drive this in a variety of conditions, and while this chassis is incredible in the dry, even with these snow tires, the handling is very impressive, so we'd love to try one on summer tires. The all-wheel drive system is extremely impressive, but even beyond that, the traction control and the stability control systems are very good. They're not overly intrusive. If you want the car to slide a little bit, it'll slide, but it catches it before things get out of hand. And that's really good for when you're kind of in a situation where you have to accelerate. A lot of traction controls will shut the car off, and you're kind of stuck until it decides it's ready for you to go again. So it's a really good system, and it's really good in these conditions. We've got several modes you can select. Let's try the Sport Plus mode and see what this acceleration's like. Even in the slick conditions with these snow tires, there's a lot of forward bite and a lot of acceleration. This is a really fun car. Now, a coupe, that's what you're looking for. You want a car that obviously looks great. You wouldn't be getting a coupe otherwise, because you kind of do compromise a lot of back seat space, especially headroom, going for a coupe. You go for a coupe, you want it to look good, but you also want it to perform, and this has both. There's also a capacitor system which stores up power for when you're stopped and the engine auto start function goes off. It gives a little bit of power to run the air conditioning, to run the stereo, to run all the features in the car. As far as features go, our test model here is really well equipped. It's got a navigation system, but it's also got this pilot control center. There's a rotary knob. There's all sorts of great controls, and it's very convenient to where your hand is. A lot of the center control systems that we test are too far back, and you find yourself having to move your arm back to use them. It's very ergonomically correct here. Our test car is also equipped with the Burmeister audio system, which is, you can identify really quickly in these by these beautiful speaker grills and the doors here. Once again, just tying in the incredible interior design, but we were left a little bit wanting for some more bass response from this system. It's definitely got great clarity. It definitely is missing something in the low end, and it doesn't sound quite as good as we'd hope when you do Bluetooth streaming. So you might be thinking to yourself, well, this all sounds really great, but what is this going to cost me? Well, starting price is $44,000, which is actually really great when you consider what a lot of its competitors cost that don't give you nearly this level of luxury. Even though this is the baby Benz, it really does share fit and finish and trim level with some of its older cousins. One of the great features about this coupe is this giant panoramic roof here. Basically the entire thing is glass. What that means is it's just nice and bright inside here, and it just adds to the overall feeling that you get when you're driving this car. And the other thing that does that is this seat. It's extremely comfortable. Everything about the driving position, the way that they've created this cockpit space is really perfect. You feel like you're sitting in the car as opposed to a lot of other cars where you're just sitting in it. This has about $10,000 worth of options on it. You've got the air suspension package, there's a premium package which includes blind spot monitors, keyless entry, and some other things. But more importantly, with us anyway, being the car enthusiasts that we are, is this has the AMG package on it, the sport package, which includes much bigger brakes, bigger wheels and tires, and a more aggressive front fascia and different body accents. And it's about a $1,600 option, and we definitely recommend it because it really does transform this car in a lot of ways. The braking performance is astounding, and it adds to the sharpness of the handling. So as far as options go, when all's told, this is $56,000, our test car, and as much as that is still a load of money, this is really a good value. So what do we think of this 2017 Mercedes C300 Coupe? Well, do you want the long version or the short version? The long version is, the short version is, we love it.